Thank you for flying Cathay Pacific.
A crowded flight en route to Hong Kong is suddenly in trouble over the South China Sea.
What the hell was that? Engine 2 stall?
Relying on one engine to get us safely on the ground.
Then the situation gets worse.
We now have 2 engines stalled. This is not fair.
Approach. Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Damn it.
The 200-ton jet with 309 passengers is free-falling towards disaster.
I felt fear.
This cannot be happening.
It looks like this aircraft could end up ditching into the water.
Unless the captain comes up with a better option.
Seatbelt, please. Thank you.
Cathay Pacific Flight 780 is cruising at 38,000 feet over the South China Sea.
This is your captain speaking. We'll be starting our descent into Hong Kong shortly. Local weather is 29 degrees with scattered clouds, so it should be a lovely spring day. Thank you again for flying Cathay Pacific.
Captain Malcolm Waters and his crew are nearing the end of a 4.5-hour flight from Indonesia to Hong Kong. Touchdown is in 30 minutes.
It's a crisp morning, clear skies, light wind. It was a nice day to go flying.
It's only the second time Captain Waters and his first officer, David Hayhoe, have flown together.
So, how long have you lived in Hong Kong?
12 years. Moved there when I was 23.
Waters is one of Cathay Pacific's youngest captains. Hayhoe is an ex-fighter pilot with the Royal Australian Air Force.
So what's it like flying F-18s?
Oh, there's nothing to it. The in-flight service is terrible.
Flight 780 originated in Surabaya, Indonesia. It's covering more than 2,000 miles to reach Hong Kong. The Airbus A330 is powered by 2 Rolls-Royce Trent 700 engines. And every aspect of flight operations is aided by advanced computers.
The engineering and complexity that goes into them and the science that presents the information, they're incredible machines.
Seatbelts, please.
Madeline Avisado is the in-flight service manager responsible for overseeing 10 cabin crew members tending to 309 passengers.
We carried out the service and prepared for landing. It was a normal flight.
165 miles from Hong Kong Airport, the Airbus leaves cruising altitude and begins its descent.
Airspeed's 295 knots. Rate of descent 700 feet per minute. It's looking good.
The aircraft is performing perfectly. And then something goes wrong.
What the hell was that?
Strange.
I describe it as a low thumping noise and airframe vibration. So, David and myself kind of looked at each other like that's unusual.
The flight computer is alerting the pilots to a problem.
Okay, let's see what we got.
Engine 2 stall.
The plane's monitoring system indicates there's an issue with the right engine, engine number 2. Captain Waters tries to understand what happened to the engine, but the monitoring system gives him no explanation.
Now, when we were checking the parameters, they were relatively normal.
Okay, thrust lever number 2. Confirm.
Confirm?
With no explanation for the incident, Captain Waters reduces power on the engine to idle to protect it from damage,
Idle.
the lowest possible power level while still keeping it running. It has an immediate effect. The engine noises disappear.
That's better.
All the symptoms went away.
We've got fuel flow, we've got rotation.
The bigger concern is that the engine at idle isn't providing any thrust. They must now rely on their other engine to get them to Hong Kong.
A single engine approach is not a big deal. We practice it a lot in the simulator. The aircraft are certified to fly on one engine.
Hong Kong, Cathay 780. Pan, 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 pan.
The crew alerts air traffic control of their situation.
Pan, 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 pan.
Sir, we have a pan-pan call.
We declared a pan, which is sort of the first level of urgency.
We're operating engine 2 at idle thrust at the moment, but operation's normal apart from that.
Cathay 780. Roger your pan.
If we could just get priority. Thanks.
You declare a pan in order to let air traffic control know that we need a bit of help to get us on the ground quickly, and it gives them the authority to push people out of our way and help us achieve that goal.
Cathay 780, understood.
The controller grants the request.
We have a pan-pan call from an incoming flight. Please put emergency services on standby.
Airport firefighters rush to take up positions near the runway. Flight 780 is 115 miles from Hong Kong Airport. The plane will be on the ground in 22 minutes.
In preparation for landing, please stow tray tables and return your seats to the upright position. Matt's here.
It's not normal for captains to call during a pre-landing announcement by the in-flight service manager.
Matt, we're having a problem with engine number 2. I need you to keep an eye on it from the cabin.
Roger.
He requested to check the engine number 2 if there's something unusual or if you can smell any smoke. I checked the engine and it was pretty normal, nothing unusual going on.
The pilots prepare to land the Airbus with only one engine.
I'll take the landing.
Understood. You have control.
Captain Waters will fly the plane from this point on.
I have control.
In an emergency situation, the most senior crew member assumes the flying role. Now I have to actually do what I've been trained to do. So it's not a normal day anymore, and you have to be on your game.
Everything is set for landing.
Engine 1 stall.
Engine 1 stall confirmed.
It's the last thing they want to hear. The monitoring system confirms their worst fears. They have just lost their other engine, the one they were relying on to get the plane to Hong Kong.
We now have 2 engines stalled. This is not fair.
The crew of Cathay Pacific Flight 780 is facing the loss of their one remaining engine.
We were relying on this one engine to get us safely on the ground, and now it had exactly the same symptoms and noises and sounds as the other engine.
If they can't get it back up and running, the plane is headed for an unimaginable disaster.
Engine 1 to idle.
The monitoring system tells the crew to put the malfunctioning engine number 1 into idle. Just like engine number 2, it's still running, but producing no thrust. The plane is now gliding.
Damn it. Our descent rate is not looking good.
Without thrust, they can't make it to Hong Kong or any other airport.
We're still 60 miles out. Too far.
We were still about 60 miles out to sea at that time. With the aircraft descending at, 1,300 feet per minute, we've only got 5-6 minutes before we're at sea level. I felt fear. And you have all those human responses to fear. The hair standing up on the back of your neck,